Did you know that plants can reproduce in different ways? In this The Daily Eco video, we're going to explain the different types of reproduction in plants. In addition, we'll explain how flowering plants and non-flowering plants reproduce. Let's get started. Sexual reproduction in plants. This type of reproduction is the most common in plants, and it is done by the fusion of a female and male gametes. In addition, it is important to know that this type of reproduction can occur between two different plants or by one plant that fertilizes itself by having the material of both sexes. Some examples of plants that reproduce sexually are roses, violets, and jasmine. Asexual reproduction in plants. This type of reproduction, unlike the previous one, has its origin in a process of cellular mitosis in which a new plant identical to the original is produced. Asexual reproduction occurs mainly in non-vascular plants and can take place through the following reproductive structures or methods: stolons, rhizomes, cuttings, grafts, leaves and roots, sporulation, propagules, parthenogenesis, and apomixis. Some examples of plants that reproduce asexually are tulips, dandelions, and cacti. Before we continue, we want to put you to the test. Besides plants, can animals also reproduce asexually? Is it A, yes, or B, no? Have you thought about it? The correct answer is A. There are some animals that are capable of reproducing asexually, such as snakes, worms, and starfish, among others. Reproduction of flowering plants. This reproduction method is divided into three phases. The first is pollination, a step that is taken by certain agents such as water, wind, or pollinating living beings, like insects, birds, or small mammals. These beings are attracted by the colors and aromas of the flower, and they feed on nectar. Later, when they approach other flowers, they continue feeding, and they transport the pollen there and give way to the next phase. Fertilization. When the pollen falls on the stigma of the pistil, the zygote is formed, which will be the embryo of the new plant. This embryo will grow and feed, being protected by a hard cover, the seed. A fruit will grow around the seed that will protect it, provide it with nutrients, and attract animals that will transport it to another place. This is where the third phase begins, germination. When the seeds fall on fertile soil, they open and form the new plant from the formation of roots and a sprout. Reproduction of plants without flowers. Plants without flowers reproduce differently since they don't have flowers or seeds. These reproduce by spores in the following way. First, the spores are stored in sacs called sori, which are found on the underside or back of the leaves. The sori opens when the weather is dry so that the wind carries the spores. When the spore falls to the ground, it receives the necessary conditions of temperature and humidity. It germinates, giving rise to a gametophyte, a plant with both female and male sexual organs. Then, rainwater transports the male cells of this gametophyte to another female. Fertilization occurs and a new individual of the species is born. We hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one.